Ever wondered what's the probability of your crush liking you back? Well, probably that's less than your previous match test scores. That's exactly why you guys are here, right? In this video probability, we calculate the chances of almost everything. The fun fact here is, there's a 100% chance that you guys will require this video, but there's a solid 50% chance that you guys are watching this just before your exam, right? Don't worry, no worries. I've been there. Let's speed run this chapter. Obviously, you're supposed to start off by trying to understand, is there any type of formula which is required for probability? There is actually one, which talks about, see, the good thing is there's only one formula. It's all about trying to understand the conditions, trying to understand English basically. Fine. There are a few words which has to be kept very keenly in mind. I'll tell them right now. There's a word called at least, at most. So to clarify it, the meaning of at least is minimum. Okay, at most is maximum. So you'll be wondering from the other side, telling this is a common English. What's the whole point? Common English, when applied in a proper situation, might change a lot of things. Okay, so at least meaning minimum, at most meaning maximum. And there's one more. There are two more words which actually annoy a lot of students. Those words are and or. Fine. What's the meaning of and? What's the meaning of or? We'll learn that in the specific thing. Before that, the formula. It says number of favorable outcomes and total number of outcomes. Best example is a coin. Let's say you want tails as your answer, fine, or as your outcome. You take a coin, you flip it. Now, the psychological way is, the coin obviously has two faces, out of which one is head, one is tail. You are expecting tail to fall, okay, or tail to be an outcome. Now, what's the chances of you guys being right? 50%? 50% in terms of fraction is nothing but 1 by 2. So, you wanted tails to be your answer. You wanted your favorable outcomes to be tails. But total, how many outcomes were there? It could either be heads or it could be tails. So your answer is 1 out of 2. Therefore your answer will be 1 by 2. Getting it? So it's always your favorable. Again, we're being self-assured. By the total. Total has to be found in a very organized manner, and always no writing the word total. There's a specific concept called a sample space which has to be specified before each and every condition. Sample space has to be written. Without sample space, how many ever favorable outcomes is there? The denominator is has to exist there. Fine. I'll give you an example. Let's start with the first condition. Again, everything in this is important. To be very honest, if you're able to watch this video just before your board exam, I think we are covering like 99% of the chances. 99% of all the questions which are required. Okay, no, the 1% might be here and there, but 99% has been covered there. Okay, so coin. It says this is the condition. I am not trying to teach any specific problem here. I am trying to teach specific conditions, which is obviously more important. Again, tossing a single coin is a condition. Now think, a coin has two faces. Fine. Two faces, what are they? Head as well as tail. So you write that in terms of sample space. If you guys see, sample space is either heads or tails. Now, how do you understand how many total number of outcomes are there? In this case, the answer was 2. That's pretty simple. Now, how do you actually calculate? Focus here. A coin has how many faces? It always has two faces. You write the number 2. Fine. Now, to the power depends on the condition. Here, the condition says a single coin. Single meaning the number 1. Therefore, you are expected to get 2 answers. I got my 2 answers as head as well as tail. Now, by chance, I take the same coin, but this time I flip it twice. Always understand, you toss one coin twice or you toss 2 coins once, it is the same. Okay, so you take a coin which had 2 faces. I take 2 in number, therefore I am expected to get 4 answers. Similarly, I take a coin 2 faces. I flip it thrice, so it will be 2 cubed. The answer will be 8. So I'll be expecting 8 answers there. Okay, that's the concept. This is to find the total number of outcomes. Okay, we'll obviously be diving deep into all these concepts a little later. So first condition is done. Let's see if there's any question based on first condition. Perfect. Now it says, I'm gonna not write the formula because it's already been written before, but you guys should obviously write during your exams. It says probability of getting heads. Now what's the condition? Condition is 1 coin. Now see, out of 2 things, you'll get heads once in the toss. So basically it is 1 out of 2. Similarly, how many tails? Go back. Tails once. Out of how many? Out of twice. Now look at this. Think, this is the confusion part I told you, H and T. Common sense, when you toss a coin, there's one face which has been visible. Can it be both heads and tails? It can't be. Can't be in math is 0. By 2, which is nothing but 0. Getting it? Now obviously once you flip the coin, the answer will obviously be heads or tails. 100%. So they are telling, if H is there also, I'm satisfied. T is also I'm satisfied, which means I am satisfied for both the outcomes. So therefore, since they are satisfied with both the outcomes, I'll write 2 as my favorable. What's the total? 2 gets cancelled. The answer is 1. And no answer in probability can go more than 1. It's like scoring 108% in your board exam. Possible? Not possible. Getting it? So maximum is 1. Now let's go to the next condition. 2 coins tossed once or 1 coin tossed twice. Just before, as I told you, how do you calculate how many sample space or total outcomes are there? It says 1 coin tossed twice. Let's look at this. 1 coin has how many faces? 2 faces. How many times is being tossed? 2 square, 4. So I'm expecting 4 outcomes. Now, you're supposed to write the 4 outcomes. Obviously, very simple. HH, HT, TH, TT. Getting it? Now obviously this is simple, therefore no hint is required. Now what is the meaning of this? First column represents the answer on the first coin. Second column represents the answer on the second coin. Common sense. So this is your first coin answers, these are the second coin answers. What is important? Both are important because I'm tossing them simultaneously or the same coin is being tossed twice. No. So this is your condition. Let's go to our probability. So it says P of both being same. Common sense. They are same where and where? HH and TT. So how many favorable? I get 2 ticks here. So basically there are 2 favorable outcomes. Total was 4. You simplified and 1 by 2. One more common mistake what people make while solving probability. They write 2 by 4, which is correct, but without simplifying the answer is wrong. I mean, technically it is correct, but that's how the board exam pattern works. Can't help. Fine. So it says at least 1 head. We spoke about this at least. At least the meaning is minimum. Minimum they're telling 1 head. Common sense is minimum you should get 90% if I tell you. If you're getting 94%, will they chase you out of the house? Obviously no, they're happy with it. So similarly, minimum is what they're trying to specify. You can go above it. Okay, you are expected to go above it also, I mean subconsciously, but still. So let's say they're telling minimum, I forgot. Minimum 1 head. Look at this. This has 0 heads. Careful, both are tail meaning it has 0 heads. Fine. So this is not there in my category. I'll put a wrong cross there. Minimum 1 head. Does this function? Obviously, this is helping me. Minimum 1 head. Yes. This has 2 heads. So what? I'm telling minimum. If again as I told you, minimum is 90. If you're getting 94, you're still getting a seat in your college. The college what you want. Correct? They're not telling minimum was 90. You're supposed to get exactly 90%. No, they're happy with more than 90% also. Similarly, which means the answer for this will be 3 ticks. Therefore, it is 3 favorable outcomes. Out of total is 4. Therefore, the answer is 3 by 4. Now, let's talk about this. At most meaning is maximum. Now, they are telling you maximum only so much is required. It's like your class strength. Okay, forget about class strength. Your math marks. They write no on the right corner of your question paper, maximum marks 100. So, what do you mean? You can't get more than 100. 100 is the limit. Getting it? Now, just because 100 is the limit, not everybody will score 100. There are a lot of people who will get 0 also. Not trying to, tell it's wrong or right, but still, you can't go 109, 110. Getting it? That's the point. So at most 1 head, meaning maximum 1 head. Let's talk about this. I'll clear off some stuff here. This has 2. No, because I'm telling max only is 1. This has 2, so I can't talk about this. This has 1. Maximum can be 1. See, there are people who are going to score 100 also. They're accepted. The only problem is with people who are scoring 110. Getting it? People can score hundreds. So this thing is allowed. Maximum 1 head. So 1 head is allowed. Again here is allowed. Again, careful. It says maximum 1 head. People can still get a 0. No. The 0 also can be a favorable outcome. TT means it has 0 heads. This also is a favorable outcome. Getting it? 0 heads, 1 head and 1 head. Maximum was 1, I go up to 1. Minimum was not specified. If minimum is not specified, by default the answer has to be 0. Okay? And obviously you can't get minus marks. Same way, you can't get minus 1, minus 2 as your answer. Minimum can be 0, maximum had to be 1. So therefore my answer was 3 by 4. Can 2 of them have the same answers? Just a coincidence, it can have. Okay? Let's go to the next condition here. Now this time, they're talking about 3 coins. A lot of people, I don't know, they keep tripping over this 3 coin question. There's a hint to write the sample space. So first of all, let's see as to what's the number of things. Okay, a coin meaning 2 faces, 3 coins are being tossed. So basically it becomes 2 cube. The answer is 8. I'm expected to get 8 answers here. Ignore that. Okay, listen here. So basically, you write H 4 times followed by T 4 times. Please follow this. H 4 times, H 4 times and T 4 times. Next column, you write H twice, T twice. Repeat that. H twice, T twice. Last column, alternate. H once, T once. H, T, H, T, H, T. 100% none of them will be repeated. So stop trying to sit and mug up stuff from this. Nothing to understand here. You write this, you show them because that's necessary. Once you show them that, you directly apply the hit and get the answer. Now let's try to solve question based on this condition. Careful. P of all heads. All. 1 out of how many? 8. So you go back and write 1 out of 8. Okay? 8 is kind of crazy. 2 heads. Now see, what is the meaning of 2 heads? Because there is no prefix here. They have not told at most, they have not told maximum, nothing is being told. So what do you consider? 2 heads, if there is no prefix, it only means exactly 2 heads. Exactly. So I'll go back to my sample space. Look at all those places where exactly H was written twice. So I can see 1 here, I can see 2, I can see 3. Yeah, I can see 3 of them. Okay, out of how many? Out of 8. So new concept here is, if there is no prefix, it means by default the word is exactly 2 heads. Correct? Now here, from now onwards, careful. At least, I'll let the meaning here. Minimum 1 head. Again, careful. They've given me minimum 1 head. They've not given me maximum, which means I can go crazy. Fine. Go crazy in the sense what? I can only get 3 now here. Fine. So let's talk about this. Minimum 1 head meaning at least 1 head. I mean minimum 1 head has to be there. Okay. Ask yourself a question for each and every entry. Does this have a minimum of 1 head? Yes. What about this? Yes. This has 2. Yes. This also has. This has 1. Cool. This has 2. Cool. Has 1. Has 1. Does not have 1. Which meaning this has 0. I can't consider 0. They're telling minimum. It's like again college. Cutoff is 90%. If you get 89%, you are not in. You can't go and argue it's just 1%. Still, 90 meaning 90. Similarly here, even though it is just 1 less, it is still a 0. So I'm going to consider 7 of them. Okay, which has at least 1. Sorry, minimum 1. So out of how many? Out of 8. So 7 out of 8. Similarly, at least 2. Fine. Now they're trying to obviously up the level there. They're telling at least 2 heads, minimum 2 heads. Ask the same question here. Does this have minimum 2 heads? Yes. What about this? Does this have minimum 2 heads? Yes. What about this? No. Has only 1. Even though it is just 1 less, I don't care. It has to be minimum 2. Doesn't have. Okay. What about this? Does this have minimum 2 heads? No. This has minimum 2 heads. This does not have minimum 2 heads. What about this? It only has 1. No. 1. So 3 ticks were there. Therefore, 3 out of 8. Got it? That's a condition. Next, all tails. TTT. 1 entry out of 8. At most 1 tail. Again, at most is maximum 1 tail. Careful guys. Maximum is given. Minimum is not given. Fine. Now let's see. Maximum, how many tails? 1 tail. What about H? It has 0 tails. Which means this is an outcome. Why? 0 is there. Maximum was 1. 0 is still there. No. Fine. So this is an outcome. T has 1 outcome. Correct. What about this? Yeah, this H. This has 1 tail. Yeah, correct. Because maximum is 1. What about TT? No. Because maximum was 1. This has 2. This has 1 tail outcome. This has 2 not there. This has 2 not there. This has 2. I mean 3 not there. So how many ticks here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 8. So the answer becomes 1 by 2. Similarly, again, at most. Oh guys. Yeah. At most 2 tails. Maximum 2 tails. Wherever if you observe a pattern till now, wherever the word maximum is there, no, you're supposed to default consider that minimum will be 0 or has to be 0. Okay, careful with that place. So now the question was maximum 2 tails. Now this can't be there. This has 3. More than 2 it has. So obviously not there. What about this? This has 1. They're telling 2. Okay, maximum is 2. So 2 can be my answer. 1 can be my answer. 0 also can be my answer. This has 2. Sorry, this has 1. Yes. This has 1. Yes. This has 2. Yes. Yeah, 1, yes, 2, 2, 3. Okay, now think, I made a small mistake here. Fine. It can't, maximum is 2, this has 3, not an outcome, but the mistake is here. This has 0, no? Maximum is 2, 0, triple H is also there. Fine, so totally 7 outcomes, because this has 0 tails, the remaining have 1 tails and 2 tails. All of them can be considered except for the third one. 3 tails is not there, therefore the answer will be 7 out of 8. 7 out of 8. Now look at this. At most, maximum 3 tails. Maximum is 3 tails. Don't you think the answer will be 8? Because think, my answer can be 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, everything will come under the category, no? Maximum 3 tails. This has everything, this has 0 tails. There's one set which has 1 tail, one more set which has 2 tails, there's one thing which has 3 tails. So everything is my answer. So therefore 8 by 8, the answer is 1. At least 3 heads, meaning minimum 3 heads. Fine. Don't you think the answer is just 1? H. Because minimum is 3, there's no sample space which can go above 3. Therefore the answer is 1 out of 8. That's the scene with 3 coins. Let's go to the next condition. Rolling of a single, okay, now the coins part is done, we'll talk about the dice part. Rolling of a die, sample space, how many faces on a die, how many numbers can you guys see on a die? 6 numbers, what are they? Write them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so these are my answers. Now based on these answers, let's see what another question has been asked. P of odd number, okay. What are the odd numbers? 1, 3, 5. There are 3. Out of how many? Out of 6. So the answer is 3 by 6. Nothing but 1 by 2. If you guys focus properly, I am trying to simplify it then and there itself. I am not trying to postpone things there. Got it? You should do the same thing. Second one, it says greater than 4. Careful, they will not use the word equal to. 4 is not greater than 4. Okay? Only 5 and 6 is greater than 4. Which means there are 2 outcomes. Out of 6, the answer is 1 by 3. Similarly here, probability of between 2 and 6. Again, between meaning 2 also should not be included, 6 also should not be included. So the answers will be 3, 4, 5. 3 outcomes. Out of 6, 1 by 2. Next, greater than 6. Greater than 6 is not 6. Fine. More than 6, there is no answer only. Die is not there. So it will be 0. 0 out of 6, eventually the answer is 0. Next, greater than or equal to 6. Careful. See, greater than 6, there's nothing because it's a die. Equal to 6, it's 6. So therefore, one outcome out of 6. Prime number. Careful, this is important. Prime numbers are 2, 3, 5. One is neither prime nor composite. Okay, prime numbers start with 2. 2, 3, 5. So totally we have 3 entries. Out of 6, the answer is 1 by 2. Getting it? So a single die was done. This is for roll twice. Now how do you find so many things? Very simple. First of all, just like a coin had 2 faces, die will have 6 faces. Okay, this time I am rolling 2 dice or 2 die. So 2 twice. So 6 square is 36. I am expecting 36 answers. Very simple to write. 1, 1 you start, you go up to 1, 6. Same thing you go 2, 1 to 2, 6. The same thing you do up till 6, 1 to 6, 6. Now what does this mean? The first number in the bracket means the first answer. Second number in the bracket is for the second die. That's how it means. Fine. So should you always write the sample space? I would strongly recommend you guys to write it, because once you write this, the chances of you guys going wrong is almost nil. Therefore, now let's start solving. Probability of same numbers. Same numbers meaning, look at the brackets. 1, 1 is the same number being repeated. So this is my entry. So don't you think there will be 6 here? How? 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this diagonal there. So 6 entries out of 36. The answer will be 1 by 6. Now look at this. First die showing 6. Common sense. They're telling first die. Meaning I should see this number is also showing 6. I don't care about that. That's because that's the second die. First die meaning it has to be the first number there. So look at all the entries. How many dies have the first entry as 6? Don't you think the last row? Last row meaning there are 6 entries. So therefore my answer is 6 out of 36. Look at the specificity there. They are trying to tell first die. That's important. Next, total is 9. Now what do they mean by total is 9? For example, if you add 4 plus 5, the answer is 9. Getting it? So this right now is my entry. I'll circle that. Similarly, 5, 4 is my entry. 6, 3 is my entry. Now let's see where and all I can find 9s here. So 3, 6 is also my entry. In the first 2 rows, you won't get 9 only. Why? Maximum is 2, 6. 2, 6 gives you 8. So the 9 thing starts off only from 3, 6, 4, 5, 5, 4, 6, 3. At this point of time, I have 4 entries. Let's keep that in mind. Careful, they're telling only total is 9, meaning exactly 9. So for exactly 9, I have 4 entries out of 36. After cancelling, I'll get the answer as 1 by 9. Now they're telling, next question is, product is 8. Obviously, you guys know the meaning of it. If you multiply two things, for example, 1 into 2 is 2. So the product is 2 here. Now they're telling product should be 8. Obviously, 2 and 4, I'll take it. I'll put a cross there. Maybe I understand that way. 2, 4 is the first entry. Then 4, 2 is the second entry. That's it. No, where else can the product be 8? Only 2 things. Nowhere else it can be 8. Product. See, don't tell 5, 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 into 3 is 15. Getting it? Nowhere else the answer can be 8. 2, 4 or 4, 8. By chance, if the die had 8 faces, then maybe 1, 8 and 8, 1 also might have been there. But right now, those things are not happening there. Getting it? So, 2 entries out of 36. Careful. 2 entries out of 36. So, the answer is 1 by 18. This question is interesting. They're telling sum is greater than 9. Careful. Greater than 9 does not include 9. Which means, I'll give you a small hint here. Let me make the entries kind of messy here. Okay, so this triangle, from beyond this triangle is where the answer will be beyond 9. You can check it. 6, 2 is 8, not interested. 6, 3 is 9, not interested, because I want it to be greater than 9. So if you look at whatever I circled, that diagonal I take off. Look at 4, 6, it's an entry. Why? 10, greater than 9, yes. 10, 11, again it's 10 here, 11 here, 12 here. So don't you think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 entries out of 36, the answer is greater than 9. So 6 out of 36, therefore the answer is 1 by 6. Okay, now here careful. It's a very important concept here. Sum at least 9, minimum 9. Careful. Minimum 9 meaning maximum can go beyond 9. Okay, maximum in this case is 12. How do I know? 6 plus 6 is 12. Minimum has to be 9. Again, don't you think the same triangle? But the problem, the thing here is, I'm supposed to consider these 4 also. Why? Minimum 9, no. 9 has to be there. So, let's count the triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 entries. Okay. At least 9. We got 10 entries. Out of 36. You guys will do the math there. Okay. So, this is your colored object questions. It says the bag contains 6 green, 7 red and 3 white objects. A ball is now chosen at random without looking. Fine, whatever. Very simple, extensively asked question. Now see, try to find the total number of objects. 6 plus 7 is 13, 13 plus 3 is 16. So denominator for everything will be 16. Because total is 16, total number of outcomes. Now they're asking P of red. How many reds? 7 reds. First answer is 7 by 16. Now see, what I can do is, instead of giving object, okay, I might use the word cards. I might use the word ball. I might use the word whatever. Okay. So end of the day, it's the same concept. Not red. Not red meaning green and white. Green was 6. White is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9 out of 16. Similarly, white. White is 3 out of 16. Next, not white. 6 plus 7, 13 out of 16. Here, green or red. Wherever the word or is there, combine them together. Okay? Or. Fine. Here, look at this. We'll talk about this. If you pick up an object, it can either be green or red. It can't be green and red. It's like, let's talk about fruits. You pick up a fruit. It can either be an apple or an orange. It can't be apple and orange. Fine, common sense that is. So, if you pick up an object, it can't be both green and red. Therefore, the answer is 0 for this. Out of how many? 16. The answer will be 0 there. But it can be green or red. I pick up, it can either be green or it can be red. Or meaning, I'm supposed to add, green is 6, red is 7, 6 plus 7, 13. Out of 16. White or green, again add. White is 3, 7, green is 9. 9 out of 16. Green or white or red? Obviously, everything. Okay, next part. Neither green nor red. If it is neither green nor red, it has to be white. It will be 3 out of 16. Neither green nor red or white. 0, no. It has to be some other color. So therefore, careful with this. When you pick up an object, it can't be both apple and orange. It can't be mixed fruit. Common sense.
There are only two genders, male and female.
Okay, that's the only thing. Now, a last condition based question, most important type. A box contains some black, okay. This black colored balls, I've taken as X and 30 white. So think, in a box there are black as well as white. Totally, don't you think the answer will be 30 plus X? Where black is X in number, white is 30 in number. Got it? If the probability of drawing a black, okay, look at this. Second line is a condition. They're telling probability of black is 2/5. 2/5 the probability of white. Just give it to me. Okay? If you are able to understand this, finding the number of black objects is very simple. How do you find? Probability of black, meaning X, by, careful, favorable is black, total is X plus 30 or 30 plus X. Okay? Equals 2 by 5 as it is. White. White is 30 in number. Total is 30 plus X. Got it? 5 times 6. Once I cancelled, goes off. 6 times 2 is 12. So therefore black objects were 12 in number. Correct? So this is probability for you guys. Watch this just before the exam. There is no other condition or type which can be asked for your board exam. I'll see you in the next one.